Alright everyone, it's been a little while since I got the last video out, and I apologize for that. So we'll go ahead and jump into this next lesson. In the last video, we covered intervals, which, just to review, that is the distance between two notes, measured in half and whole steps, and all that was explained in the last video. And now the next logical step to me would be to apply the intervals to something. And I think the best thing to apply them to first is going to be a scale. And all a scale is just a combination of half and whole steps that are in a certain formula, and every scale has its own formula, so to speak. But today we're going to be focusing on one scale, and that's what I think is the most important scale there is, and that is the major scale. The major scale, once you know it, you can modify that knowledge just a little bit, and then from that you can get your minor scales, you can get triads and seventh chords, but all that'll be in another video. Major scale, like I said, has a formula, and it's just a combo of half and whole steps. And that combination is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And let me demonstrate that. On this C right here, which we used a lot in the last lesson, this first interval, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. I'll show that shape later on and kind of explain it. But during this lesson, I'm actually going to try to be referring to notes on the fretboard as opposed to just fret numbers, because it's a really good idea to go ahead and learn your notes. And I'll include like a link to a chart of notes. If I'm not mistaken, the chart is only going to go up to the 12th fret, but that's not really an issue, because once the 12th fret hits, everything just restarts. All the notes on the 12th fret right here are the exact same as the open string they're on. So that's an E, A, D, G, B, E. So yeah, you can play your standard D chord here, or same thing. Now we'll get to the actual scale. Like I said, it's whole step, half step, whole step, half step. During this lesson, you might see me play the same fret a few times but refer to it as different things, and that is because of what we call inharmonic notes. Sounds scary, but it's really not. It's very simple. An inharmonic note is just the same pitch, sounds the same, called two different things. A good example of that, I'll show you that. We'll do this A right here on the 5th fret on the low E. And for term's sake, I'm going to cover the term sharp and flat. Flat means to simply take a note and lower it one half step. So this A flat would just be go down a half step, which is the 4th fret. That's A flat. So A flat. So if flat is take it down a half step, sharp would logically be to move it up a half step. So moving it to the 6th fret on the low E, A sharp. So that'll be the same way, and it would be the same way for this is G, G flat, G sharp. Now with notes, the actual list of notes from C to C again, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, all of those have accidentals between them, with the exception of between B and C. This is B on the 7th fret on the low E, and C right here. So if you were gonna say C flat, that would technically be a B, and or B sharp would be a C. Also E and F is the same way. E right here on the 12th fret on the E string, E sharp would just be an F. There is no E sharp, so to speak. And F flat would be an E. So now on To the scale. I'll show you easiest way to demonstrate the major scale would probably be single string, and I will just do the high E string and I'll demonstrate the whole, half, whole, half. That would be open E, and then the first whole step is going to be on this second fret. So whole, and that's the 4th fret, half, whole, half. And the fingering for, or the frets you'd play are open, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12. So a little faster would be. That is E major. This is the shape we're going to be playing. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the notes we're actually playing there are the frets would be on the low E, 8, 10, 12, moving to the A string, 8, 10, 12, D string, 9, 10. And if you remember how we do the octaves, it's just, you know, so there's your C again. So a little faster it would be. That's the major scale. C, and then that shape can be applied everywhere. So what I think I'll let you guys try to do is figure out with the formula of whole step, half step, whole step, half step, is let you guys kind of figure out some of the other major scales, like maybe write down in the comments, write down the notes in the D major, E major, just all of them actually. We'll go with all of the just natural notes. So give me the C major scale, D, E, F, G, A, and B. These are all going to have sharps or flats in them. I'll kind of explain that, but you know, like I referred to, you're going to want to account for every note in your scale, every different one. So for A, I'll kind of give you A here, I'll help you cheat. A, B, C sharp, D. You wouldn't want to call this A, B, C sharp. You would not want to call this D flat because you'd be skipping over the note. So you want A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. I hope that kind of helps you. And yes, remember to account for every letter when you're doing your scale. So that should help you with the major scale. That's really the best I can explain it. The best thing to do now would be to sit down and practice. You know, what I would do is say the notes out loud as I played it. Like, what's one I didn't give you? B flat, B flat, and I would just say the notes out loud. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. I would just say them and then say it as you play it, going up and down if you can. And for your technique, you could use just all downstrokes, you know. But I would suggest try alternate picking, you know, just up, down, so, well, I'd probably start with a downstroke, so. Just alternate strictly up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Or, you know, down, up, down, up, down, up, either way. Probably messed up there. Yeah, so, again, the formula is whole, half, whole, half. That's the major scale formula. And if you want to, try to learn all of the major scales. I know them all from memory now, like just the note names. because I had to learn them for class, for a theory class, but it would really help you out. As guitar players, a lot of really popular keys that guitar players play in are sharp keys, which would be, the sharp keys are C doesn't really count, but C, D, E, G, A, B, those are the sharp keys. And I'll try to explain keys later, but right now scales are very important to try to learn. So try to learn, maybe an easy way to break it up would be just learn those natural notes first, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then try to learn the accidentals like C sharp, you know. And hopefully you guys can learn these, and I'll try to cover key signatures in another video, but right now, major scale. Again, whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. To kind of give you an idea of what the major scale sounds like with its chord, I'll play like a nice, we'll play a G major chord, which is, if you don't know this, I'll try to make maybe some, if you don't know some really basic open chords, leave comments, and I'll try to make videos about guitar chords that most guitar players should know, or all guitar players should know. So this G chord is going to be your middle finger on the 3rd fret on the low E, your index finger on the 2nd fret on the A string, and then skip down to the B string, which is this put your ring finger on the 3rd fret on the B string, and then your pinky on the 3rd fret on the high E. So the chord should sound, and then make sure you have your fingers arched to where you're not covering the D or G, and you should get this. I'm gonna loop that, and I'll show you what the G major scale would sound like over that. I hope this lesson was kind of helpful. If you have any more questions, just leave some comments and I will try to answer them as best as I can, but really that's about the best explanation of the major scale I can give you. If you need me to make a sheet or something with all the major scales written out so you could see them, I could see if I could do that, but really, and see if I can get ShadowShredz to maybe put a link on their website to that. It would really be best to try to test yourself, but if you really need the help, the link will be down in the description, hopefully. So you guys practice this, and next week I'll try to get back with, maybe we'll start with show you how to make minor scales or triads and things like that. I'll figure out another next step in the progression for you. So keep practicing your intervals, keep practicing your major scale once you get this down, you know. Get that. And if you're really interested in playing the major scale on all 6 strings, the shape for that is going to be, we'll do the C, is starting on the low E, the shape, I'll just kind of, I'll show you what frets I'm playing. We'll play it in C again. So on the low E, 8, 10, 12, go down to the A string, 8, 10, 12, then to the D string, 9, 10, 12, G string, 9, 10, 12, and then to the B string, 10, 12, 13, then to the E string, 10, 12, 13. So that'll be once you get the scales down a little better.